Hello, welcome to Talk Tactics, the feature on my YouTube channel where we get our guests to give us an in-depth analysis of football, basically. Because we've got Danny Mills here, ex-Man City player. Danny, we're going to talk Man City. So what we've got here, this is Man City's current team, which many people have described as the greatest Man City team of all time, the greatest Premier League team of all time. So what we want to do is, with this brilliant prop that we've acquired, if you were the manager of an opposing team, how do you beat this Man City team? Where are their weaknesses and how do you go about exploiting them?
It's probably the best City team
ever
that we've seen. Well, and if you put Mills and Thatcher in there,
it
might add a bit of steel. No,
better than your Man City team you played in?
Yes, by far better. Far better. But no, they are absolutely superb. They're playing great stuff. They're now scaring the opposition, which means they are afforded even more possession. They are the most like team Barcelona that we saw, when they were in their heyday.
You think they're that good, Man City? That good? You like them to Pep's Barcelona?
They're not far off.
Right.
That they are getting there. They are in that ilk. They don't have Messi. That is probably the only. If you put Messi in that team, you would go through it and go, yeah, they are up there.
Some praise.
Yeah. Even Guardiola says Messi was head and shoulders above, everybody else, and could make a difference, when you're struggling. You just look at the amount of goals that he scored. But yeah, so it's very, very difficult to know how to beat them. And I think, because if you play high press, and you go, as the ball falls down, if you try and go man for man, like that, because you've got to have your back four in, you've got to keep them in, you've got to have your holding midfield player. If you go high, what happens is you just need one player to get that wrong, and then suddenly you've got somebody free on the ball. And then where does the next player go? Who goes in? And you start to lose your shape. So it becomes very, very difficult.
Does that play into City's hands, pressing high? It's almost like Pep
definitely
wants them to do because
this is what City do. City do that. That's the two fullbacks. They play very, very high up the pitch. So to stop these two, you've got to put two players high up the pitch. You've then got to send someone into Fernandinho. You've got to mark the fullbacks because Ederson likes to ping it from there to there.
Which is what Pep encourages
Well,
Ederson,
Ederson could play in here. He could play in the midfield because he will do that. And he will ping it to feet, no bother. That's really not an issue for him. So if you're going to go man for man, you've then got to somehow work out how to mark the two central midfield players, Silva, De Bruyne. So if you're starting to go man for man, you're going, hang on a minute, you can't play Sterling or could be Jesus,
Sané, couldn't it?
Sané, Sterling on the other side, Aguero. You're going, that's dangerous.
Is that dangerous because if you go man to man, quite frankly, City's men are better players than most opposition, so
of course.
Find a way around that.
So what happens is the ball gets thrown out. It does a trick. He goes past him. You've then got you've got somebody out of the game. He then gauges. What does this man then do? He then comes into this position, you play the ball in there, if he goes tight. If he stays there, you give it him. And it just takes one person to lose concentration and you're dead and buried. What I thought was very interesting of the week, Huddersfield were clever. Huddersfield went right.
They frustrated them, didn't they?
Yeah, they accepted that they're not as good as. So basically, this is what Huddersfield did and went,
so you're saying park the bus?
They didn't necessarily park the bus as such, but what they did, they said, right, we are going to play in half the pitch. What Huddersfield don't have is a striker, Jamie Vardy-esque, that can run in behind and actually cause a threat, and they didn't cause any threat whatsoever. That's to frustrate. So if you want to frustrate them, but the problem is they have such good quality. Defenders can step in and play. You still get outnumbered because they will find little pockets and they will do a trick and they will still beat. And eventually, they're likely to break you down. The one thing that I haven't really seen so far is be brave, really brave early on and go two up top. The only weak link that I can see, imagine City are playing a four, you've got Fernandinho sat in the hole.
I was going to ask you, who would be there in City's starting 11 for you?
Well, two centre-halves. Probably Otamendi and Stones. Company, if he was fit, but he's not fit often enough. Walker, probably Danilo in there. You've then got Fernandinho, who I think's been exceptional. Has done really, really well and come on. De Bruyne, Silva.
It's not bad, that is it?
Well, it's exceptional.
Does a job.
Let's say Sterling,
Yeah.
Sane, Aguero.
Yeah. So not Jesus for you.
I still think it's still a little bit young, a little bit raw
Yeah.
at the moment. Needs a little bit more.
Okay.
What I haven't seen a team do is go back to front very, very quickly. You forget that. Keeper's got the ball. Squeeze up. Push everybody up the pitch.
So play a high line right from the word go.
Get in their half.
Yeah.
So then, instead of doing what Huddersfield do and play in your own half, when you've got the opportunity from a goal kick, from a free kick, from an offside, it's old-fashioned. Punt it long. Imagine that's West Ham, Andy Carroll, or Peter Crouch, or you've got a front player that can head the ball. What's Stones like in the air? It's not his strong point. His strong point is getting the ball, coming out from the back and playing. Otamendi, we've seen him make mistakes at times. The problem that you have is you've got to win that second ball, and it's a little bit ugly. It's not a great way of playing football. This is a one-off. How to beat City? How do you? The problem you have to do at the moment you become very, very disciplined, you've got to all run back as quickly as you possibly can and fill those holes. Because what City will do, they will gamble. And if that's your back four high there, they will leave Sane, Sterling and Aguero high up the pitch.
Yeah.
So if City win this ball, they have the ability to deliver it into midfield, into there, turn, play through, or they have the ability to ping balls out there, but with quality.
Okay.
The Reds, whoever it may be, are almost playing a little bit long ball, a little bit hoof ball.
Yeah.
City can do it with out and out quality.
So there's no team you don't think that's good enough to out Man City play. Even in the Champions League, you don't think there's any team that would play the way that Man City play, the way to beat them.
Barcelona possibly.
Aside.
I mean, outside the Premier League, Real Madrid possibly, because again they will dominate possession. You've got that matchup in the middle of the park. Well, you've got Modric, Kroos, probably Casemiro in that whole. Very similar type of players, you know, Benzema, Ronaldo, Bale.
Yeah, Isco as well.
Isco in their out and out pace, decent defenders. Barcelona possibly as well. Juventus, could they beat them? Playing very, very defensively. Yes, because they've got good players on the ball. What City do to the opposition, and this is where I think teams are getting it wrong, they're trying to play it from the back.
Interesting that Spurs did this against Man City. I spoke to you before the Spurs-Man City game. I said, how do Spurs beat Man City? And you said they're not good enough to beat Man City. No. They should play ugly long ball.
Yeah,
and Spurs tried to, which is great. Poch loves playing football. They did try to play out on the back, and they did get caught there, didn't they? Big time.
So, sometimes you have to change your tactics, and that's where Mourinho is very, very good. Surprised how. I mean, lack of effort that they put in against. It seemed like lack of effort that they put in against Manchester City. In the past, you would say you could bully City out of it, but because now players are protected, and rightly so, you can't be as physical. You know, you can't dominate them like maybe
Danny Mills could.
Yeah, or even Manchester United once, or a Stoke. You know, or teams like that. You know, and really rough them up a little bit, because we don't want to see that. We don't want to see players getting injured. But when you try and play out from the back, City are too good, and they put you under pressure, and they're prepared to play a high line. Because they know that you haven't got the... Most of the centre-halves in the Premier League can't hit those raking balls over the top. And if they are, you've still got pace. You've got Walker, you've got Danilo, you've got Otamendi, you've got John Stones that read the game very, very well. You've got a goalkeeper that plays here. So he's your sweeper keeper. You know, so that makes it very, very difficult. But because these players aren't good enough on the ball, you put pressure on them, they get a little bit nervous, they play a ball into midfield that isn't quite right, and these players aren't used to receiving the ball under that amount of pressure, and of course it only takes it to go slightly wrong, De Bruyne nicks it, and instantly it's 4-on-4 and you're struggling.
Is a big part of City's strength, obviously they've got unbelievable quality, great players, best team, best squad in the league. Is a big part of this, a sort of an underrated factor, their fitness levels as well, because you've got to be incredibly fit to play that press
No, they're not. City aren't working any harder.
You don't think they are?
No, they're working more efficiently.
Right.
And the one thing I noticed, I think it was against Arsenal when City played. So let's just imagine that. That's how City play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. There was a ball over the top. Let's get the opposition as a 4-4-2. Let's pretend they're a 4-4-2.
Okay. Yeah.
Fullbacks were wide. Where's my pen? Ball went over the top. It was a long ball played over the top. Sterling was running through. Ball bounced and went to the goalkeeper. Now most centre forward players would go, oh, and then have a little jog back. And in the meantime, that ball's been slung out to the fullback and he's on his bike. Then the midfielder's got to come across, or the fullback's got to engage, and you give them a bit of a chance to play out because you're a man down. It's now effectively 11 v 10. But what I was incredibly impressed with Sterling, the ball bounced, he realised he wasn't going to get it, and he sprinted out wide. And he stopped everything. So now the goalkeeper's got the ball, now what does he do? He's not going to throw it there, because defenders aren't that great on the ball, and he's marked. So he goes long, and ultimately give the ball back to City. If Sterling had carried on that run, equally, he'd have had to run. By the time they've travelled forward and City have had to retreat because the fullback's got out, he's had to run another 40, 50 yards. So they're working smarter.
Yeah.
And their game management, their game knowledge and their positional play, I think, has improved massively under Pep. So they know where to pick up the ball. They know what holes to drop into to cause the opposition huge problems. And also their mentality of pressing. Like we said with the opposition, when you press, when you press a team, you've all got to go. If you get one lazy person, it breaks down. So you've got ball goes out to the fullback, closes down. There's no way the fullback's going to ping that across. Can't happen. Silva pushes in. Fernandinho pushes in. De Bruyne pushes in. You know, maybe the fullback's tight, can get across. That's not a danger. You can't hit that. So suddenly, where do you play the ball? They all go. If he's lazy and doesn't make that run, ball comes inside, he turns and he's out. So it only, same if he's lazy, if he stays off and the ball's played in there, he's got an out. So the moment that trigger goes, everybody has to go. And you've got to do it en masse. And that takes a lot of discipline and a lot of work on the training ground. And a lot of the time you'll do that, you'll play against the back, you'll play against maybe 8 players at the back. And Pep, be an open game, Pep might just blow the whistle, give the ball to the opposition, and you've got to press immediately. So it's unexpected. Yeah. It's not always when, oh, we can see they're going to give it away, let's press. So you're constantly thinking, the moment they give the ball away, switch on. Now I've got to go and press and do it that way. And that takes a lot of hard work on the training ground and a lot of discipline. You are going to have to defend incredibly well against Manchester City. And then somehow you're going to have a threat. I know they drew 0-0 against Palace, but I think Manchester City will score in every game. In every game for the rest of the season? They might draw 0-0, but I think they are going to score. When you look at their side, they're going to score goals. To beat them, not regularly, but to actually work out how to beat them, it's very, very difficult because they are so good. Generally, you would say, right, let's go man for man and play. But De Bruyne is going to go past the player. At some point in the game, he's going to go past someone. Silva's going to slip his man and find space. So you have to err on the side of caution, and that's what makes it very, very difficult. So you're saying play a high line and don't be afraid to go long ball, frustrate them is the more efficient way. And if you get 1-0 up, just keep kicking it out of play. Yeah. Okay, right. Danny, that is how to beat Manchester City. Danny, top man. That is Talk Tactics. Let us know in the comments section what you'd like to see us talk about in the next Talk Tactics episode. What should they do now? Like and keep watching. And subscribe. Subscribe is the main thing, yes. If you can subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. Danny, top man. Pleasure. Cheers, mate.